What does a UX designer actually do? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, I'm Caleb King. I'm a software engineer, and the role of UX designer is to create the experience for the user. They are responsible for ensuring that the product design is both aesthetically pleasing and practical to use. So in this video, we're going to be looking at what is UX design, UX versus UI, the difference between the two, how they actually do their job, how much you can expect to earn, and if you need a degree to become a UX professional. Let's get into it. This video is sponsored by Level Up Programming. Level Up Programming is a complete developer guide you need to level up your career in tech. I personally interviewed 50 different IT experts to get their tips and tricks and created this complete guide to help you level up in your career. Join the waitlist now so you can get 25% off when we launch an audio and ebook later on this year. So go over at books.peopleintech.io, join their waitlist so you can get on that list, as we're only accepting the first 50 people. So what is UX? UX design, an abbreviation of user experience design, involves the interaction between users and a product or service, usually, but not always, in the digital space. So in other words, UX design is the craft of making a user experience when interacting with digital products as effective, efficient, and pleasant as possible. The process of building products with the user in mind. And there's a lot to consider: accessibility, ease of use, navigation, brand coherence, tone, positioning, and the overall general aesthetics. It also covers the user's moment-to-moment reaction and how these add up to create the overall experience, both within a single product and across interactions with the company behind it, from initial intent to purchasing to product maintenance and everything in between. Now, UI versus UX. They have some elements in common, and there's definitely some overlap, but the two fields are fundamentally quite different. When it comes to their focus and responsibilities, UX design is a little bit more analytical, and UI is a little more visual or more closely related to something like graphic design. And though the two are similar in some ways, they're also very, very different. So what is UI design? UI design stands for user interface design, and it's a field with a more narrow focus compared to UX. And it's a little bit closer to traditional graphic design, though the day-to-day challenges are more complex. But UI design, like graphic design, you're planning the individual elements of the user experience. UI designers are typically responsible for the design of each screen that a user on a page might interact with. And they're usually responsible for creating a cohesive style guide, maintaining visual consistency, and they're working along graphic designers and copywriters and anybody who's helping create content for the product. Now, often UI designers and UX designers work in tandem, or it's one person wearing both hats. But ultimately, these people rely on different tools, different skills to approach different challenges. UI designers are focused on individual moments of interaction between user and the product, whereas an UX designer, they're a little bit more comprehensive and holistic. They want to think of the entire user experience somebody might go through. Let me give you a real life example. I'm Team Apple all day, every day. And when you're an Apple, when you see the Apple design, the settings, the widgets, there's something about that experience that I truly enjoy. But you might be an Android person watching this video. There's something about the Android experience that you enjoy. Whether it's the layout on the phone, whether it's the knowing the settings on the phone is always like this, whether it's the font, it's a holistic approach, which is what a UX designer will consider, whereas a UI designer might just focus on one particular piece of that experience. So what does a UX designer do on a daily basis? Well, there's a few aspects of the design process that they cover, but let me just give you a high-level overview of what they do. User research, persona development, information architecture, wireframing, prototyping, aka high fidelity designs, and user testing. Out of those, I think the ones that a lot of people overlook is user research, because UX designers are trying to figure out what will work for their end users. They're conducting surveys, interviews, accessibility, navigation testing. Like, they are thinking of everything and anything, gathering data so they can make informative decisions on what is the best design that will help make this experience great for the end user. Then they'll come up with personas. Who's your ideal customer? Who's the ideal candidate? Who are we building this for? What is it like to be in their shoes, and what can we do to make their lives easier? And then a lot of times people confuse wireframing and prototyping. Wireframing, to keep it simple, to me is low fidelity prototyping. Black and white, no pictures, nothing super fancy, but you can at least show somebody this is how the workflow is going to be. This is how the user is going to start. This is the page you're going to end up on after they're done doing whatever it is we want them to do. And then high fidelity design is pretty much what we want the final app, the final website to look like. The colors, the style, and sometimes high fidelity designs with tools like Framer or InVision, you can actually fool somebody that you actually have a real app, even though it's all designs. And then lastly, user testing. Once they have these designs, once they have an idea of what they're building towards, they're always going to be finding ways to improve upon the process with user testing. And this is usually quite often overlooked because people write code, write designs, ship it out, and then forget about it. But you have to continually test and find ways to improve your designs. So let's talk about tools of the trade. So UX designer, they use a wide range of tools. A few years ago, everybody who knew Photoshop could get away with being a UX UI designer. But nowadays, you have a lot of great tools out there. Now, I think the best wireframing tools is Figma, and it probably emerged as the leading one simply due to the fact that it's free, it's easy to use, and it has just like a great foundation with a whole bunch of templates and a whole bunch of resources available to you off the jump. I know Illustrator is very popular, InVision Studio, Adobe XD, Azure, Marvel. I know those are a few popular wireframing tools. And then when we're talking about prototyping, InVision is still the most widely used prototyping tool. According to Glassdoor, 58% of UX designers claim to use InVision, but Sketch is the second most widely used. And for more advanced prototyping with like micro interactions, so you can kind of fake it, making it look like you actually have a full-fledged app, there's Principle, Flinto, Framer, which is one of my favorites, and Protopie. So these tools are out there. If you want to get into UX, I would highly suggest checking these tools out and getting familiar with them. Now, what do they make? According to Glassdoor, UX designer salaries hover around $85,000 and can range as high as $130,000 for senior roles. And PayScale similarly places median UX designer compensation in the neighborhood of $80,000. Now, while the salary range can vary greatly depending on the region, the company, are you a tech company, are you an insurance company, the opportunities are out there. Like imagine being UX design at Google or Apple. Those jobs pay really good salaries. Where UX design at a company where you might be working for the government, you might be working for a small startup, they might not be as high, but you might get more hands-on experience. So a lot of great opportunity for UX designers because a lot of people are constantly trying to find what is the best way to present a product to their end user. And lastly, do you need a degree to be a UX person? To keep it simple for y'all, no, you don't need a specific degree, but you do need the right hard and soft skills to be considered as a UX designer. In fact, there's no such thing as a bachelor's of UX design, and everybody working in UX today probably began in like an affiliate-like field, product design, graphic design, web development, and they started gaining experience and figure out UX was their path. So even though there's not an official roadmap in colleges yet, you will need to probably learn some technical skills along the way, and you can learn a lot of that through peopleintech.io, Udemy, Free Code Camp. So there's a lot of resources out there that helps you get started with UX design. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know, did I forget anything? Is there anything I got wrong? UX designers, did I trigger you at all with this episode? Share your thoughts, share your opinions in the comments below. But for now, tech out.